Villanova University. My name is Emery Woodard, Dean of Graduate Studies in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, and I am delighted that you have chosen to entrust us with your graduate education. In accepting our offer of admission, what you did is you accepted a tremendous challenge to study at what I think is one of the finest institutions in the area. Indeed, the best way for me to describe this community and to tell you what you are a part of is to describe for you what our institution is not. First, we are not Penn State. Not at all. Yeah, you know what? That's We are not a large state institution spread across a dozen campuses that has to wrangle with Harrisburg for an annual appropriation. We are instead a well-resourced, intimate community. In a very short course, you will know everyone in your cohort, if not in your entire program. Many of you will reach out and forge relationships with folks outside of your program, and I strongly encourage you to do so. The key point here is that you are not a number, but a constitutive member of our collective. Put another way, our small size means that you have a large impact on who we are as a community. Consequently, your graduate experience will be what you make it to be. If you reach out, engage, and connect, your experience in our community will be a vibrant one. Villanova has resources to help you. You will learn much about those resources today. Listen closely and take advantage of them to make the most of your graduate experience. You will continue to build your community during our graduate class welcome bash. Anybody ready for an open bar? Okay, open bar. There are going to be a number of faculty and staff on hand to mix and mingle and give you a sense of just how warm and welcoming the Villanova community is. Finally, members of our Graduate Student Council and some current students will host an after party at Gillespie's, a regular site of extracurricular study. The first 50 drinks are on them, so be sure to save a little energy for the after party, where you'll get the inside scoop for fellow students without any faculty or staff on hand. We are also not the University of Pennsylvania. That deserves a round. Penn is my alma mater, so I am not speaking out of turn when I say we care about your individual learning as a graduate student. Oh, was that harsh? I was recently invited back to my alma mater to be a part of a panel that addressed a group of doctoral students who are graduating and seeking new jobs as professors. The task of the panel was to offer advice to these candidates about how to be successful in their new jobs. I cringed when one of my colleagues informed the group that if they were spending more than the morning before a lecture to prepare a class, they were spending too much time on their teaching. Their focus instead should be on their research. Such a statement would never be uttered at Villanova. Villanova attracts a specific type of faculty, one that loves to motivate students using creative learning environments and original teaching methods, as well as to inspire discovery and innovation through research. We see ourselves as teacher scholars. You're going to hear that term a lot. What it means is we are committed to collaboratively pursuing knowledge and applying our discoveries to better our world. We conduct nationally distinguished research with our students, particularly at the graduate level. At Penn and at other such institutions, graduate students are usually assembled in these large, undifferentiated teams, largely to support the faculty research. Students are left to compete for the attention of their faculty and fend for themselves. And this works for some. It ultimately worked out for me. I'm here, right? But I know that there are some folks in my cohort that it didn't work out so well for. At Villanova, we are concerned with the whole person. we seek to provide opportunities for all of our students to develop intellectually, emotionally, socially, spiritually, and culturally in an environment that supports individual differences. We insist that mutual love and respect animate every aspect of university life. Learning is at the heart of what we do. While we want you to become, in the words of St. Augustine, what you are not yet, we truly want you to be you, and not merely a reproduction of ourselves. Our faculty is here to mentor you in that process. In the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, mentorship begins with your individual graduate program director, who typically advises current and incoming students, assists with registration questions, or supervises in an advisement system according to departmental practices. As you identify your specific interests in the program, you may move to work with a faculty member who shares those interests. That faculty member may then direct specialized coursework, partner with you on research projects, and supervise your capstone experience. Finally, your advisor is there to assist you with career planning and life after Villanova. While Villanova is a special and welcoming community, there are some conditions to membership. You are accountable for all the guidelines set forth in the student handbook. It can be easily found on the web at studenthandbook.villanova.edu. You can commit to memory. You're graduate students. You're very smart. studenthandbook.villanova.edu. On this website, you will read lots about the details of our community and the values that we espouse. But I can sum up the handbook in two essential expectations. First, there is an environmental expectation, and it's relatively straightforward. As a member of this community, you are expected to help create a safe and peaceful environment where both people and property are respected. As such, avoid doing things such as things that are illegal, things that are offensive, things that are dangerous. I think that's pretty straightforward. Second, there is a relational expectation. As stated previously, we seek to animate every aspect of university life with mutual love and respect. Therefore, insensitive, disrespectful, harassing, threatening, obscene, or violent behavior is considered most offensive. Now, these expectations should guide your conduct on campus, off campus, including in online spaces. As a constitutive member of the community, not only do you represent Villanova, you are Villanova. These expectations not only help us to fulfill the mission of Villanova, they offer some practical benefits. Graduate school is distinct from your undergraduate experience. Not only will you read more than you've ever read, write more than you've ever written, compute more than you've ever computed, you enter a graduate classroom that is very different than what you experience in your undergraduate classroom. Some of you join us directly from your undergraduate schools. Others have 5, 10, 15, 20 years of work experience. Do not shirk away from this diversity. Embrace it. Every admitted student is qualified to be here. That means that every student has something unique to contribute. The expectations from the student handbook are meant to lay a foundation of respect for those contributions. It will also help prepare you for life after Villanova in our increasingly diverse global community. Now, I've got a bunch of colleagues here with me to help you better understand your new Villanovaness, so I'm not going to completely monopolize this conversation. Instead, I'm going to look forward to shaking each and every one of your hands, either after this orientation session or over in the O'Day Lounge, where we're going to enjoy that open bar. For now, I turn the program over to my right hand, Emily McCloskey, Director of Graduate Studies.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm thrilled to have you all here and to see such a full room. There are some more seats up in the front for any of you in the back. I hate to have you standing for so long.
There are 3 seats right here in this row, 2 right here, and 3 over here.
So I hate to have your feet hurt because we're going to be standing, and I'll give you a warning. There's no seats in the next portion of this event. So get comfortable now. So I'm just this is just a brief agenda for what we're going to cover, which you all have in front of you as well. And I'm just going to start by going over the most exciting piece of all, policies and procedures. So I will be brief, but this is really important information and something that I'm not expecting you to absorb everything now. But if you only take one thing away, it's that when you're in doubt, please reach out, because these things are always easier to take care of ahead of time than after. That being said, I'm good at fixing problems after too. So be familiar with me, be familiar with your program directors, the staff in your department. We aim to please, we aim to work together to solve problems. First and foremost, the academic calendar should be your new best friend. When you're an undergraduate, I'm sure you are familiar with terms like add drop, WX, withdrawal, extensions, incompletes. There's a deadline for each of these things on the calendar, and you're not expected to commit the dates to memory, but just maybe bookmark that tab so that you can refer to it. Just so we're all on the same page for this fall semester, the last date to add or drop a course is September 4th. So it's coming up in just a couple of weeks. And just to refresh your memory for any of you who have been out of school for a while, add drop means that course will not appear on your transcript. After that date, if you were to WX a course, it would still be on your transcript showing a WX, but it would not compute into your GPA. And just also please be aware that as soon as you sit in a course virtually, you will owe money for that course, so that's why abiding by these deadlines are really important. I also wanted to just point out that every one of you is entitled to an incomplete or a grade extension. If you get to the point at the end of the semester that you feel like you need more time to work on a paper or what have you, reach out to your professors. They want to see you succeed. They want to see you do well in your classes, and that's why we have these mechanisms in place. And like I said, handling these things up front with something like an extension is so much easier and less stressful than having a grade that you're not satisfied with and then trying to appeal that grade. But again, please reach out to me with any questions, to your program directors, to your advisors. We're here to help you. We want this to be a personal experience for each and every one of you. We're not just administrators sitting in offices. I hope to get to know a lot of you. And as Dr. Woodard said, this is a community that is about each and every one of you, and that's what makes it so special. Just a few things that I kind of want to touch on. And again, I hate to start off on a bad note, but these are important things that I hope you'll just keep in the back of your mind. Different from when you were an undergraduate student, the minimum GPA you're expected to maintain is 3.0, which is a B average. And that's because you're in graduate school and you're expected to be masters in your fields, and therefore there's a higher standard. This will likely not happen to you, but just to keep in mind that we do have a process of academic probation if students' GPA does fall below 3.0. And again, nothing for you to worry about now, but just something to keep in the back of your mind as a difference from your undergraduate degree. All graduate students are permitted up to 6 years to complete their degree. I mention this because your graduate students, life happens, you have jobs, you have families. If you have a semester that you only can handle taking one class, that's okay. That's why we have these mechanisms in place to help to see you succeed. As you know, the courses are offered primarily in the evening. We're flexible. We want to be here and work with you. Again, if things come up, reach out to us. We have leave of absence policies in place that would then extend your time to degree completion if you needed to take a semester or a year off. The most important piece is to reach out to your program director and your professors when things come up. And then finally, we of course expect you to uphold the highest standards of academic integrity. All of this is outlined on the website, but just to know that we take it very seriously here and expect you to do so as well. So graduation is the goal. This will be all of you one day soon, and in order to get there, we need all of you to take responsibility for your academic record, and we can do that together, but you know, that's the best day of the year for all of us, to see our graduates walk across the stage, sometimes holding their babies in a cap and gown. So you'll be hearing from me much more throughout your time at Villanova. I can't wait to meet some of you more later throughout the event, but welcome, and I'm going to now turn it over to my colleague Ashley Lehman, who's the Assistant Director of Technology and Operations. She's going to talk to you a little bit about technology.
Hey y'all. Thank you. So the first thing I want to tell you about is there's this handy dandy thing here at Villanova called Nova Alert, and you may have had something similar to this at your undergraduate or other graduate institution. When you're lying in bed and you see there's snow outside in February and you're thinking to yourself, do I have to go to school today? This is going to come in really handy. You're going to sign up for Nova Alert anytime anything's going on campus that is a weather issue, whether it's a delay, a closure, power outage, anything like that, you're going to get a text alert about it. So I highly recommend making a note to yourself that if you haven't signed up for this yet, you should. Specifically by the time January rolls around. Y'all know how snowy and February, March, it gets crazy around here. So just keep that in mind. How many of you are already registered for Nova Alert? That's more than I expected. That's good. So teach a friend how to do it so everybody can get registered. My Nova is also something important we want to make sure that you have access to. How many of you have logged into my Nova thus far? That's almost everybody. So you already know this. Y'all are, seasoned veterans of my Nova at this point. This is where you access Blackboard, your Villanova email account, any financial aid links you need to access, your student dashboard, your registration schedule, Novasys. You all know how to read. This is how you can find everything you need to know how to find. Graduation is very important. Print photo, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. My Nova is your one-stop shop for all of these services. How many of you use Blackboard before? Right, most of you, right? Other places use other things. Blackboard is a learning management system that we use here at Villanova University. Some of your professors may utilize this tool here at Villanova, some of them may not. It just depends on what department you're in and what kind of classes you're taking. But as you know, it's a place where your syllabi will get posted. Maybe you're going to be submitting your assignments through Blackboard. Maybe readings will get posted there. It's good to get acquainted with it. At this point, you should already have access to any classes that are set up in Blackboard for fall. So go ahead and take a little look-see, see what it looks like, see what's already due, because sometimes, that's already happening at this point. Your Villanova email accounts. How many of you are already using your Villanova email accounts? Yes. How many people have forwarded your Villanova email account to your personal email account? Less people. Did you know that was possible? Because it is. And it's a little easier than checking 2 different accounts. So because your Villanova email address is required, so that is the way that Villanova is going to communicate anything it needs to with you. Your professors, the bursar, graduation information, anything. So you're going to make sure that you do check it often. If you know yourself and you know that you're not going to, I recommend having all of your Villanova email forwarded to your personal account. And there are instructions on how to do that on UNIT's website. You can also view your emails through my Nova if you would rather check it that way, keep it separate, but just keep in mind it is of utmost importance that you do regularly check your Villanova email address, or you're going to miss some good stuff. Who's already got their Wildcard? Not as many people as I expected. People really throwing me some curveballs today. So this is your student ID card. We all had this in high school. We had it in college as well. This is your personal identification. This is going to get you into buildings on campus that you need access to. If you want to put money on it, you can use it as a debit, but on or off campus. There are a ton of businesses and restaurants in the area that will accept Wildcard as a form of payment. If you are interested in the meal plan, this is also where those funds would be located. Your print allowance is also access to that Wildcard. So that Wildcard is real crucial. I recommend not losing it, and if you do, replace it pretty quickly. Note that the number on your ID card is not your banner ID. You should have all received an email from Brooke with your banner ID number whenever your student record was created. So just keep in mind that those are two separate numbers. The Wildcard office is located in Doherty Hall. Yes, that's how that's pronounced. That was shocking to me as well when I got here. Normal hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can actually set up your Wildcard online. You can upload a picture. Which is nice because you can sort of like pick which one you want, like a nice little headshot or a day where you're really feeling yourself really cute, rather than just like that day you're sweating and it's like 100 degrees in here. So I recommend starting online with that, and then these are the hours for the Wildcard office for the fall semester for orientation. So there are weekend hours, which is really helpful. So if you're thinking about doing that this weekend, go ahead and do it if you haven't done it yet. So there are two things at Villanova. One is called vPrint and one is called iPrint. I'm going to give you a quick introduction into what is the difference because it could be a little confusing. vPrint is unit run and it's a print program, gives you money on your Wildcard that you can use at various print stations and labs around campus and at the law school. So basically, as a Villanova student, you already have $100 in vPrint money on your Wildcard per academic year. It's available from June 1st to May 31st. And the balance is viewable every time you use a print station. If additional print allowance is needed, if you burn through that, if you will, you can utilize your Nova Bucks or you can contact TechZone, which is 7777 is like the best thing you can have on your phone because you feel like you're going to be able to remember that, but sometimes in a moment of panic you won't. So if you ever have any kind of tech issue or if you have a question about vPrint, that's the number that you're going to call. The Wildcard office does not control that print allowance, so again, keep in mind you're going to want to talk to TechZone about that. Also in MyNova, in the student tab, you can view your print allowance. So then what's iPrint? We're going to talk about vPrint. So iPrint is the campus print program run by Graphic Services, which is out of the Bartley Print Center. All students receive $30 for that. So this is a little different for black and white printing only. This is if you want to send a print job to the print center ahead of time. So you don't have to necessarily, with vPrint, you have to go to the library, use your card to print something off in real time by logging into a computer, pulling up G Drive, printing stuff off. With this, you can send a print project to the print center ahead of time and then pick it up later. So this is real nice if you're a crunch. So keep that in mind. This balance as well is available from June 1st to May 31st, and the balance can be viewed online. Only the Bartley Print Center can authorize any additional funding to the iPrint allowance. If students' iPrint allowance is at zero, they can print with Nova Bucks. So you can always put money on your card and use it as like a debit for these purposes. If you have questions about your iPrint, you can stop by the Wildcard office. They will have a discussion with you about this, whereas they won't with vPrint because they don't even know it. There are print locations available throughout campus for your convenience. You can check them out at Tollentine, Lower Level Lab, Valley Library, Bartley Print Center, or the Connolly Cyber Lounge. And there are a couple of other locations and additional information that can be found on the unit website under vPrint. And now I'm going to hand it off to Brooke Erdman, who is our Student Services Coordinator. She's going to talk to you more about the student services available at Villanova. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you later at the party.
Okay, so as Ashley mentioned, if not all of you, most of you should have received an email from me by now with your student ID number and a lot of the information that I'm about to go over. So I'm going to go through it pretty quickly, but just to reiterate Emily's point, if you ever have a question, do not hesitate to reach out to anyone in our office at any time.
We're nice.
We're nice and funny. At least Ashley's funny. Some of us are funny. Emery's pretty funny too. Okay, so academic resources. We do have a math and writing learning center on campus. Both are located in the Valley Library on the second floor. So just keep those in mind throughout your time at Villanova. If you have a paper due, you want somebody to look over it, there are tutors available for you in those centers. Parking. If you're here, you've probably parked somewhere on campus, hopefully in the right spot. You do need a parking permit to park on campus. Whether you're going to be here during the day, all day, or just at night, you do need a pass. So passes for the full day are $100 for the whole year. Passes just to come on campus in the evenings are $50 for the year. Most of the parking is in the new I-1 garage on Eichen Avenue, but if you're coming to campus after 5 p.m., you can park on the inner campus lots, which is probably good news to most of you because you probably have classes in St. Augustine Center or somewhere else closer to that lot. So keep that in mind. We do have a shuttle on campus. The shuttle runs on campus and off campus. It is free weekend and weekday. You might want to hop on, hop off. And if you are interested in that, the schedule is on the NovaSafe app. The NovaSafe app is also good to have just in case you need to report an emergency or something of that nature to public safety. You should have that. Where to eat on campus. Food is very important to all of us. So if you're coming to campus, whether it's during the day or in the evening, we do have many options. A couple of popular ones would be Bel Air Terrace and Connolly Center. We're there all the time. Bartley Hall has one. Cafe Nova is in Doherty. They have some really great options. And caffeine is also very important. So there are several coffee shops on campus. You'll find Holy Grounds in the library, Connolly, Bartley, Law School. So get your caffeine intake in. Gym facilities, common question I get after I send my welcome email. Can I use the gym? You sure can. We have 3 fitness centers on campus right now, and you can just use your Wildcard to get into them. The Davis Center is probably the most popular one for our students, and it's right across Eichen Avenue, sort of where we're going later on. Graduate Student Lounge. So we have a lounge in Old Falvey in room 306. It's open 24/7 just for graduate students in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. You can get in there anytime, just use your Wildcard. And sometimes it's empty, so go in there. Use it, it's quiet. Social media. Anyone who's been on their phone throughout this, I know it's only because you've been looking for our social media pages. I know. We have 2 Facebook groups. We have the Villanova Graduate Student Council and then our Graduate Arts and Sciences. We post updates, news stories. You may be featured one day, who knows? So follow those. And we also have VU Grad Studies on Twitter. Employment. Some students are interested in having a part-time job on campus while you're here. Jobs.villanova.edu, and then student positions is your place to go. There's always stuff posted there. Some popular ones are here. A lot of our students work for Unit, and they provide all the training, so if you have no technical background, call Unit up if you're interested. They have decent wage as well. Challenge course facilitators, Math Resource Center hires tutors, and we have the refectory opening across the street at the new dorms. They're hiring bartenders, hosts, hostesses, all kinds of positions. So you should definitely look into that if you're interested. Student research support. So graduate studies supports student research in a couple of ways. These are a few here. So if you are going to present at a conference, as soon as you know you're presenting, submit an application. You can get up to $1,000 to present at that conference. You have to pay it out of pocket and then we'll pay you back, but you'll get the money back. So why not be supported? Summer research fellowships, you get up to $3,000 if you earn one of those. We have the Center for Research and Fellowships. We are a top Fulbright producer. We had 4 graduate students in the CLAS go last year on Fulbright, so that's very exciting. And that's something you can start thinking about right away. If you think you'll be interested in doing that in the near future, you'll need most of your second year to go through the application process, so why not think about it now? And then we also have Concept. It's our interdisciplinary journal of graduate studies. I highly encourage anyone who's writing a paper at any time during their time here to submit their paper to Concept in February. And we publish it, we have a nice reception, it looks good on a resume, it's good, in an interview that you were published in that, so that's great. All right, there are more important people here to talk than me, so I'll keep it moving. Get involved. We are always looking for graduate student ambassadors, people who are interested in working more with the Graduate Studies Office, working more with prospective students, working more with fellow students. You might be giving tours, you might be just having a one-on-one, maybe go to lunch with someone. And just kind of building community within our graduate program. So if you're interested, we are going to send out a link to the application next week, and we'll always have it posted online, so anytime you want to apply. And more than likely, a lot of you have met one of these ambassadors at some other event. You've come to campus, and maybe they're the reason you made your decision. So give back, why not? All right, finally, this is where you can find us. You can always find us on email. You can also find us in Vasey Hall, room 202, in our new little office space. And we love visitors. So.
I think the main takeaway from that is that I want you all to not think of Villanova as a place that those things are only for undergrads. All of these services are for graduate students too, so please don't hesitate to ever use them. So now I'm going to move on to our guest speaker portion of the presentation, and I am going to invite Dr. Mary McGonigal to the stage to talk to us about the Health Center.
Well, welcome. I'm happy to be here this evening, and I thank College of Liberal Arts for inviting me to speak to you. Just out of curiosity, are there many students who went to Villanova undergraduate? Just because I could skip over a few things, but and get to the more important things. But I only have 5 minutes to talk, so it's all going to be important. If there's one thing I want you to remember from my time speaking with you, the most important thing you can remember in this moment is that the Student Health Center is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, when classes are in session. And the second thing, which is important too, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, is to have an insurance card. It is the law of the land, and we do have support for students who are seeking to purchase health insurance. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Where we're located is actually right next door. This is Driscoll Hall, the nursing school. We are right out the door. You got the door, make a left. We are sandwiched between the nursing school, the business school, and the Davis Center where you're all going to work out, I think, right? So, and the pavilion, the new basketball, the Finn Pavilion, actually. The Student Health Center is in the Health Services Building, and we are located on the 3rd floor. We are housed with the University Counseling Center and the Health Promotion Department. We have a very strong relationship with the University Counseling Center, and we work with them often. I also wanted to mention that we typically see 150 kids a day. It's typical what you see in the outpatient and primary care, what you saw at your student health centers from your undergraduate institutions. Please know that we see graduate students all the time. For graduate students, there is a health fee for visits. So if you come in and you have pneumonia, it's $25 for that visit. If I bring you back a couple times for follow-up, there's no fee for that. It's $25 per injury or illness for you. But the undergraduates have to pay a health fee for the whole semester, but we don't apply that to the graduate students. We are staffed by 4 physicians. I am there full-time. We have a sports medicine physician who is there also full-time and divides his time between athletics and the general students. And we have 2 other part-time physicians. We have 4 full-time nurse practitioners. We have 20 nurses. We have nursing care around the clock. We have a physician on call. It's really easy to get an appointment with us. We're open 24/7, so somebody's always going to pick up the phone. We have appointments available with providers. You can schedule an appointment. We also are going to have some urgent care hours with providers, and you can also be assessed by an RN nurse for some symptoms on a walk-in basis. What we offer at the Student Health Center is basically what you see in your family practice offices. We do acute medical care. We have an inpatient facility. We have an infirmary. So we have overnight stays for our students. When you're a little too sick to be in your residence hall or your apartment, but not sick enough to be in the hospital. Typical things we have there like are pneumonias or mono or GI bug. We offer an allergy clinic for students who receive allergy injections. We offer women's health. And with women's health, I do want to share with you that Villanova University is a Catholic institution. We subscribe to the teachings of the Catholic Church. We will not prescribe any medications or interventions that will inhibit life. That being said, we treat many women's symptoms, and we offer referrals. We do laboratory testing. We do lab testing. If you have a chronic illness and you require testing for specialists at home, we can do that and send the results to your physicians and providers at home. We offer University Counseling Center, I mentioned, because we are housed in the same building, and Dr. Julia Stein is going to speak about that, my friend, right after I speak. We offer immunizations and medications. Most of you have been fully immunized if you got through your undergraduate institutions, but we do offer immunizations. We offer the standard ones. We offer them to the students at a cost. They get billed to your university account. We do not bill health insurance directly, but we give you an itemized bill that you can submit to your insurance company for reimbursement for immunizations and medications, because I also have a small dispensary. It's not a pharmacy, but a lot of times people are a little too sick to get on that off-campus shuttle and go down to CVS, so I do stock some basic antibiotics and medications that we can give to the students. And I give the medications and immunizations almost at cost to the student. We also have a student-run ambulance service, which I will talk about a little bit at the end. The second most important thing that I want to mention to you is our health insurance plan. As graduate students, and you're not an international student, I have a separate thing to say to our international graduate students, you may or may not want to purchase a United Healthcare plan. You can purchase it on a voluntary basis. The cost of the insurance plan is $4,215 for the policy year. It is a one-year policy, and it starts from August 1st to July 31st. The United Healthcare insurance will cover you if you are here or if you get home. If you study abroad, you have coverage. It also offers a formulary. And just to put in perspective, that looks like a really big number, especially for a grad student, and I was in your shoes at one time, so I can appreciate that. Under the Affordable Care Act, which is the law of the land, many of you who are under age 26, you don't need a plan. You don't need this additional plan. And those of you that have COBRA, if you were working, you don't need the plan either. This is just an offering we have for students who are seeking a plan and don't get a kickback from United Healthcare. But those of you who have investigated the Affordable Care Act, the Affordable Care Act is stratified to bronze, silver, gold levels. The coverage that this healthcare plan offers is platinum coverage, and it is actually cheaper than the bronze level of care that you can get under the Affordable Care Act. So it's just an offering that we have for the students. You would go to the website www.firststudent.com, and you would scroll through the website. You would go under Enroll Now, Hard Waiver, scroll down for graduate students. To be eligible, you have to be taking three graduate credits. For international students, the international students fall under the hard waiver program, which means you must show proof of insurance. Our undergraduates, our law students, and all international students, some of you probably came from hard waiver institutions undergraduate. You have to show proof. You either enroll or waive out. The cost of the plan for the hard waiver program is $2,380. Again, these are big numbers. The other thing I want to share with you is that Villanova has quietly rolled out a program through the bursar's office that you can investigate, where you can purchase United Healthcare on a payment plan. So you would get in touch with the bursar's office. Last year was the first year that we did it, and it was successful. So we are rolling it out this year. And I actually requested, especially for our domestic grad students, because I do know that these are big numbers. Area hospitals, just Bryn Mawr Hospital is the closest hospital. It's about a mile away. We also have level 2 trauma centers about 5 miles in either direction of campus called Paoli or Lankenau. And Dr. Woods, your alma mater, we also refer down to Hospital University of Pennsylvania, which is a level 1 trauma center. And hopefully none of you will need that, but some of you I know probably live in Philadelphia and attend grad school here. Just to mention the Villanova Emergency Medical Service. We have a student-run ambulance group, and there's about 40 licensed EMTs, and they are students, but they are licensed emergency medical technicians in the state of Pennsylvania, and we can utilize ambulance transport as needed for basic life-saving calls. If something is more serious, we get a paramedic involved, and that comes from the community. So just want to wrap up by saying 2 things that would be important is that to know that the Student Health Center is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that please investigate insurance. Now, you do not need insurance to be seen in the health center. You do not need to see that for me. I do not bill insurance directly. You want to have insurance for if, God forbid, you need to go to the hospital, you need off-campus specialists, you need radiology studies. And I shared with the parents at orientation yesterday, about 4 years ago, we did have 8 students in 1 year that had appendectomies. So it can happen. I hope none of you end up in the hospital or the emergency room, but that would be why I would want you to have insurance. And again, we're located right next door. Any questions? No. Okay. All right, welcome, enjoy.
And now we're going to welcome Dr. Julia Stein, and actually I will just keep this one on. And Dr. Julia Stein is from the Counseling Center.
So I'm going to do old school and not use the PowerPoints today. So it's a pleasure and a privilege to be invited here to say a few words and to greet you all. Welcome to the next phase in your life and a very important time. So my name is Julia Stein, and I'm one of the staff psychologists at Villanova University's Counseling Center. I'm also the associate director there, so I'm also involved in some of the administrative work supporting the director. I wanted to let you know, much in the way that Dr. McGonigal clarified right at the beginning, but to tell you what the most important takeaways from what I'm about to say are going to be, which is that the services we offer are free, they're confidential, and they're voluntary. And we offer individual and group counseling. And grad students are welcome. We serve the whole Villanova community, but I want to just clarify that the grad students are just as welcome as anyone else, because I worry that sometimes you guys can sometimes feel more isolated. We're conveniently located, bless you, just as she said, in the health services building. And everyone can picture where health services building is? Is there anyone who has a question about that? Grab me if you have a question, I'm happy to. It's worth coming in because it's a friendly, usually pretty quiet place. We offer coffee and tea and hot chocolate, and Pat keeps the caramel bullseye stocked at the front desk. It's a safe, protected block of time in a busy, stressful week where you can get support for personal, social, and emotional concerns. I want to just let you know that the way we frame the work we do is that we think about normal developmental growing pains. That's our focus. So we're not pathologizing, we're not in the business of diagnosing people. It's short-term, health-focused. When long-term or more severe problems are present, then we work closely with students to help connect them to the level of care that they need for more intensive, longer-term treatment. Consistent with the national statistics, we see a range of presenting concerns. We meet with approximately 1,400 students each year. Anxiety is the most pressing concern, and that's followed by depression. But students come in and talk with us about many, many different kinds of concerns. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge some very important things that, for example, Dr. Woodard was talking about earlier. It's a big transition to come to grad school, whether you're coming directly from undergrad or whether you've had some time out in between. It brings a lot of challenges with mixed emotions, missing things you're leaving behind, needing to figure out how to balance in new ways, multiple demands, family, work, taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, and of course your academic pursuit. And so, there's the normal range of stress and difficulty and ups and downs of emotions. And then it's important to have a sense of when that gets beyond what you can comfortably manage yourself. And it's really fine and actually very normal to come and access help from the Counseling Center. So I'll just list a few of the kinds of things we see regularly. People come when they check off on their intake forms, and when they talk with us, they're concerned about stress, social conflict, eating disorders, family concerns, romantic issues, destructive relationships, loss of motivation, difficulty concentrating, depression, PTSD, loss and bereavement, substance abuse. I want to give you a flavor of, we see many, many different options. There is no concern that isn't valid and legitimate and important to address. So I brought some handouts, and I think they're going to be available. There's the general brochure for the Counseling Center, and then there are just a few one-page flyers that just have some facts about different types of mental health concerns. We have a lot of those informational brochures available. You can look on our website. The Counseling Center has a very informative, helpful website. Feel free to check that out. Our staff is 11 doctoral level clinical psychologists, and one of our counselors is fluent in Spanish, if that's useful, if that's your first language. In addition to individual talk therapy, we also provide access for students who are in therapy for medication evaluation and management. We have consulting psychiatrists that are at the center part-time. And if a student wants only medicine but doesn't want to be receiving therapy in addition, we can help with referral. There's some very good psychiatrists actually within walking distance of campus, but in the area. We also have support groups that are tailored to student interest. And groups we've had recently have included some things for undergrads like adjustment to college, but then also loss of a loved one or a group about intimate relationships. We provide caring, thoughtful help with finding off-campus referrals. And so, sometimes I think there's a developmental trajectory that at a certain point, I know as I got older, I had a more of a sense of, I'd like to do more insight work, and I think I'd be more interested in longer term work. If you know that about yourself and you're looking for that, come and talk to us if you don't already have names of people, and we can help you with that. We also provide consultation. So you could come to talk with us about something that you're concerned about. So for example, that might be how to handle a complicated interpersonal problem, or maybe how to support a friend who's struggling with a mental health issue. So our website has a lot more than I can share at the moment. But please call if you have questions or thoughts that occur to you later, and you want to find out more about us. How to make an appointment. Call the number, right? Call the 4050 number. Or stop in and talk with Pat or Kathy, and they can help you find a convenient time. We also have some walk-in appointments for students who are feeling like it's an emergency, they can't wait for a scheduled appointment, and we welcome people if that's what they're needing. We're open 9 to 5, I don't know if I said that, during the week. And after hours, we do provide on-call coverage. Just to clarify, and you probably have experienced this in other settings, the on-call coverage isn't really therapy, it's triage. It helps to think together about what makes sense, and often that means scheduling for the next morning or the next day. So welcome. Villanova is a wonderful place to grow and to learn within a caring community. As we know, growth involves some growing pains, and rigorous scholarship involves grappling with a range of personal and professional challenges. Please know that we're available to support students at any point on your journey, and we'd love to see you. Thank you so much.
And so now I'm going to invite Nicole Subik, who is here from the Learning Support Services Center.
Hello everybody, it's nice to see everybody here and welcome to Villanova. My name is Nicole Subik and I am the Associate Director of Learning Support Services. I have some of our contact information up there as well as our hours, but mostly I want to tell you about our mission. We have a dual purpose mission here at Villanova. The first thing is that we provide academic accommodations for students with disabilities. We work with undergraduates, we work with graduate students, we work with online students, we work with certificate students, we work with everybody here at Villanova except for the law students. They have their own operation over there. So if you are a student who received accommodations in your undergraduate life, definitely get in contact with us if we haven't spoken to you already, and we'll talk to you about how to register with our office, how to send out letters to your professors, what accommodations you might qualify for in your graduate program. And then for those of you who are returning to a graduate program or coming to a graduate program for the first time and may not have been in school for a while, and you think that you might need some accommodations, please get in touch with our office and we'll talk to you about how to do that. Especially if you have been in the work world and you might be receiving some kind of accommodations in that world. The same basic laws that cover employment also cover college, including graduate studies. So please get in contact with us. The best thing to do is to email learning.support.services and, send an introductory email and we can get right back to you with what you need to do. Another option would be to go onto the Learning Support Services website. We pride ourselves in having a very robust and informative website. So I would suggest watching the video that's on the main page, and it gives you a little 3-minute spiel about how to register for accommodations if that's what you're looking for. So that's the first thing that we do. One more thing to mention about disability here at Villanova is that there are actually 2 offices that work with students with disabilities. If you are somebody who has mobility concerns, or if you're somebody who has a temporary disability, and what I mean by temporary disability is something like a concussion, or God forbid, if you fall somewhere on campus and hurt your leg and you go see Dr. McGonigal and you figure out you might need elevator access or having trouble navigating some of the stairs in some of the buildings here at Villanova, you'll want to get in touch with the Office of Disability Services who are under Student Life. If you can't remember all of this, you can always just contact Learning Support Services and we'll connect you with the right office. So that's the first thing that we do. The second thing that Learning Support Services does is academic coaching and study skills and time management support for anybody on campus who wants it. So raise your hand if you would describe your time management as exceptional. We don't have to look around, but there are not a lot of hands up, and that's okay. I think we've all been there. I think my personal time management is always developing, as I like to say. But that is a service that we provide to students on campus and on online programs. So if you need a little bit of support in figuring out how this whole graduate program thing is going to work, whether or not you're transitioning directly from an undergraduate program into a graduate program that's going to look a lot different, or if you're somebody who's returning to school and you need to figure out how to balance work, family, different obligations like that, we might be a really good connection with you. How do we do this? Well, that robust and informative website I talked about, there's a lot of great tools on there if you want to start there from the comfort of your own home. But also we do academic coaching. What academic coaching looks like is one-on-one meetings with our learning specialists. We're open 9 to 5, and I know that that may be a time when some of you are working. We're happy to do phone coaching as well. So it might look like, somebody scheduling an appointment for 12 o'clock every Wednesday with me, and it might be on their lunch break. I've done that quite a bit with graduate students and students who are taking online courses. When that may be a time they're free, they find a quiet space, sometimes their car, and we do the academic coaching that way. If you don't know what academic coaching is, most students like to use it as a way to talk through some of the problems that they're having. So it's typical for an academic coaching session to say, to start off with, what have you got coming up this week? What are your main goals for this week? What does the next month look like? Do you need to make any appointments on campus? What are you struggling with? Let's talk through some of your thoughts and your issues that you might be having. So, academic accommodations for students with disabilities, academic coaching, study skills and time management workshops, and a robust and informative website. And that's pretty much Learning Support Services.
Use some of those skills.
We could all use some of those skills.
So now I'm going to introduce my colleague Judith Seibert from the library, and we were also peers in the graduate history program.
Hi there. My name is Jutta Seibert. I'm the Director of Research Services and Scholarly Engagement, and I'm also one of the subject librarians in the Public Library, the one for history, art history, and Irish studies. So I am one of many. All of you have a subject librarian, so I hope you'll find the time to connect with your librarian. I met a history graduate student this summer who told me that during her 4 years in college as an undergraduate student, she never talked to a librarian and she had no idea what she was missing. So be proactive. Meet your subject librarian. Most of you may have an orientation with your subject librarian. I met all the international students yesterday, and it was a fun event, and I will see all the history graduate students on Sunday. So, but there are a lot of other orientations going on. If you don't get an orientation with a subject librarian, you can reach out to them and ask for an individual orientation. There's nothing wrong with that. So you already heard about the Wildcard. You need the Wildcard for many, many things: to check out books, to get into the building after 8 p.m. So have it on with you. It's really important. And in theory, the building is 24-hour access if you have your Wildcard during a session, during term. So if we are on fall break or winter break, check the website first to make sure the library is still on 24-hour access. Otherwise, you may not be able to get into the building. There is a Holy Grounds coffee shop in the library. It's very popular. It's also very noisy. Not the best study space for you unless you like noise around you. Some people prefer it. So our first floor and second floor tend to be on the noisy side, but we have a lot of very quiet spaces. Third and fourth floor of the main building are very quiet, and this is the absolute best space. It's the new reading room. It's popular and sometimes it's full, so if you're lucky you get a spot. This is the library website. It's super intuitive. There's not much to talk about, really. There is always going to be a search box at the top that has a menu that will guide you to where you need to go. You can just type anything in there, really. And there is this little green button at the top lower right-hand corner, and it's there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So it indicates that there's a librarian on duty that can get right back to you. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody, no librarian in the building on Sundays and Saturdays, but we'll get right back to you on Monday morning. There is library staff that may be able to help you in the building on the weekends. So books, you're probably familiar with that. The library has the Library of Congress subject headings. It's all clearly lined out in the catalog. So you will see an address where the book is located on the shelf. It also shows you on which floor. There are two sides to the library, the main floor, Falcon West. All very straightforward, and there's a map that will guide you to the actual location in the stacks. I know many of you will never use a book, unfortunately, or no print book at least. So those academic journals, 98%, I think, are online. So you don't have to worry. So the good thing about online resources, books or journals, you don't have to be on campus. You can use them from your workplace, from your home, from another country. It doesn't really matter where you are to get to them. So the basic search function, I mentioned it earlier. So looking up an article, I would always use the search box and just copy and paste or type it in. And then you will get a match. And this is the really important thing to remember. That's everywhere on the library website. Find it. That's your bridge to the actual content. And there's another way of getting to journal content. That's a journal finder, also a very prominent link on the library's homepage. And there you go, it will match. And then eventually you land on a different website outside Villanova, and that's the publisher that provides the electronic content. And you can open the PDF, read it online, download it, print it. There are lots of options. So once you get into serious research, you're going way beyond just looking up one article or one book. You want to see what's published on your topic. And that's when you go to what we call the subject guides. And that's also a good way to finding out who your librarian is. So there is one for every department and for nearly every program. So I'll show you the engineering guide and the history guide since it's mine. So voila, you had the engineering guide, so now you know Alfred Fry is your librarian. There is his contact information. You can book an appointment with him by clicking on book now, or you can email him. You have a lot of options there. And when you go to the history guide, you'll find me, and if I'm on chat, you will see the chat window there. So it's really easy to find us, get in touch. You also find a ton of resources there. Each guide is very unique. Every discipline does research differently, and the guides are adjusting to that. So journal articles are not at the top in history because the monograph still rules. But as you can see, when you go to journal articles, you see the top databases in history, and I'll show you one for medieval history, because it's not at the top, because it's very unique. You will need it if you're in a medieval history class. And again, it's a database we subscribe to from another publisher. It has the Villanova Find It button that is your bridge to the actual content of the article. And there you go. So it's really intuitive and straightforward. Occasionally you will find content that we do not have here at Villanova. That could be a book or a journal article. For journal articles, you will get a scan button when you click on Find It. So Find It will recognize, oh, the student wants this article, we do not have it. It will give you that button, get a scan, and it will give you an interlibrary loan form. This is actually really fantastic. It gets pre-filled. It pulls all the information out of the database, you submit it, and sometimes the very same day you get a PDF of that article. It's a free service, it doesn't cost you anything. You do have to sometimes wait 2 days to get the article. If you're lucky, it's the same day. And the article is delivered in the same system. You get an email that alerts you as soon as the article arrives, and then you click on electronically received articles. So we do a lot, it's all there. You have to get in touch, it's really up to you. And I hope to see you at the library. Thank you.
Now I'm going to invite up Meredith Oakenquist, who is from the Career Center here. And the library is amazing here, I have to say. I came from an undergrad with a big research library, and this one's way up there.
Hello. Hello. Welcome to Nova Nation. I have 2 hats on here today. First, I'd like to welcome you as an alum of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. I'm a 1996 undergrad of the program, and I'm thrilled to be here tonight to welcome you to Nova Nation. It's a wonderful place to be. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience, obviously, because I am now still here. My second hat to welcome you today, I work in the Career Center. I am the alumni career coach. So I want to give you an overview tonight of what career services can offer to you while you're here in the program. And then also to give you a glimpse of what that then will look like as you travel into your alumni experience. So the Villanova University Career Center, we're located in Gary Hall, which is on West Campus. That is my contact information above. I will be giving you an overview tonight, but there's also going to be 2 very important areas that I would like you to take away from this evening as it relates to how are you going to hear about career resources and events that are happening. You know, when you think about your graduate experience, all of you here, if you think about why did you decide to start a graduate program, you know, we in the Career Center like to challenge you with that question, because the answer to that is going to be different for all of you. And the way you answer that question is really how we're going to partner with you and really be a part of your academic journey while you're here at Villanova and beyond into your alumni experience. So maybe you're in your current job, you really enjoy what you're doing, and you want to power your career with where you are currently from a discipline as well as industry, and this graduate degree is what you're looking to do to power that up. Maybe you really don't like what you're doing and you want to make a transition. So this step in your academic career is a move to make some sort of transition or pivot, whether it be into another industry or another discipline. Think about your situation this evening. Why did you decide to start the program? And what I would say is, you're getting a lot of information tonight. You're starting this big program. Think about as you're in the first or second semester, reach out to the Career Center at that point, because even though you may not be looking to actively leave your job and have that transactional experience of interviewing and what you might think of traditionally in the Career Center sense, there's a professional development opportunity for you to really engage with the Career Center sooner than later, because we can talk with you about your program. We can talk about the different classes that you're taking. We can work on your resume, look at that content, really enhance your content while you're in the program, and really look at what has been the selected focus for you as you're going in this academic journey. And we can talk with you about maybe you're deciding between certain classes based upon what you want to do moving forward. Maybe one class might make more sense versus another. So, we can be a real sounding board. And I'd like to mention the alumni piece, because know that career services are not going to end for you when you leave here at Villanova. As I said, you're now welcomed into the Nova Nation community, and career services will continue with me as your career transitions coach. I am the person you would speak to during your alumni experience. So after you leave here, whether it's 1, 5, 10, I work with alumni 20 years out of the program, we will be a constant support for you, whether it's through, active transitional experiences where you're looking for new jobs or just professional development opportunities. I want to mention something very exciting that's happening in November. We have Nova Network November. I'm going to encourage all of you to join Handshake. Handshake is going to be a resource, and I'll show you some the contact information for it. But Handshake is going to be really important for you for your Career Center experience here at Villanova. This is where you are going to be able to develop a profile based upon your credentials, based upon your interest, and therefore you will then receive information about events and opportunities relevant to you. So you'll hear about different programming that is happening. This is a way that you can actually make an appointment with the Career Center. We do in-person as well as virtual. You're grad students, you're busy, if you have a full-time job, maybe having an appointment during your lunchtime would be most convenient for you. With an alumni, I find that's the sweet spot. You can always find an opportunity during your lunch break, maybe just to have a conversation. So no, you don't have to be in person here for Career Center guidance, but it's online and virtual. But this Nova Network November, join Handshake, which I will show you, and you're going to get information. We're going to have over 50 events hosted around the country. It's going to be online. There'll be on-campus activities. And we are designing the program for alumni, graduate students, as well as students in the College of Professional Studies. Searching for jobs. So whether you're looking for a new job during your time in the program or afterwards as an alum, we have Handshake. It's a tremendous resource. I can tell you I was on there today, and we currently have 6,000 jobs posted on Handshake that would be appropriate for seasoned professionals. So they are not jobs that are entry level or internships. 6,000 jobs with companies across the world who are interested in recruiting Villanova students. How do you find that job board? It's called Handshake. So Handshake is a job board that we recommend, and also Career Shift. And this will be information that the Career Center can provide for you, but just so you know, Career Shift, it's really an aggregated platform where jobs that are posted at different job boards are put onto this platform, so it's a really great resource in addition to Handshake. This is Handshake. You would log into villanova.joinhandshake.com. Your Villanova login credentials will get you in there, and you're going to want to build your profile, and you're going to put information in there about you, and then the communication that you get will actually then be tailored to what you're looking to do. So help us to identify opportunities and programs and get that information to you. The last thing we want is for you to feel that you're here in this wonderful academic experience, but you didn't have the power of career services. It is here for you. The programming, the individual one-to-one coaching sessions can really help power your career. Partner that with your academic journey as well as during your alumni experience. So I really encourage you to join Handshake. If there is one thing you take away, career services, join Handshake, it is right here. Just wanted to show you a little bit of the resources, big interview. We have a lot of robust resources that we do a lot of benchmarking to see what other schools are using to make sure that we're delivering to you powerful resources to help you. Mock interviews. I was a recruiter for 11 years before I worked in higher ed. And mock interviews is one of my favorite things to do because I tap back into that Wall Street recruiter hat that I used to have. Big Interview is an online resource where you can actually practice your interviewing skills. And then what happens is it records you. You can then delete it if you don't like it, but if you like it, then you can email it to me, and then I actually do a critique. So it's a great, convenient way, especially for graduate students. Maybe it's not until 10 o'clock at night that you have the opportunity, but you can really practice your interviewing skills. If you haven't interviewed for a while, you're going to be a little squeaky. Let us help you really fine-tune those skills, as well as, as you become more seasoned, you need to have more advanced interviewing skills. So we can help prepare you for that. And it's a lot different than, when you're a hiring manager versus being someone in the interview process. That lens is very different. So it's always an interesting experience to be on the other side. And of course, we always help with resume guidance. So I encourage you ongoing in your career to everyone, you should always have your resume updated. So if you haven't updated that in any recent time, please engage with the Career Center. We can help to make sure your content is up to date. And also at this point in time, you can put your Villanova master's degree on your resume. It's a pending degree, but then you can populate it with the content that would be relevant to your experience. Nova Network. Love Nova Network. Okay, everybody has heard of LinkedIn, right? This is LinkedIn for Nova Nation. Okay, so in addition to Handshake, write down Nova Network. You want to join Nova Network. Again, it is the LinkedIn for Nova Nation. When you talk about wanting to be connected to employers, we have alumni all over the world in tremendous positions in various industries and disciplines. You want to be connected. You want to be a part of that Nova Nation experience. It is through Nova Network. We have alumni and current students who join this platform. So you join, you have a profile, and then there are multiple groups based on your region, your areas of interest, and you join these groups, and then there's very targeted communication and networking opportunity based on those profiles. So Nova Network, please, I encourage you along with Handshake to engage with that platform. So to summarize, the Career Center is here for you during your time in the graduate program. When you are ready to make an appointment, go into Handshake, and it will show you the career advisors who would be available for you. There are multiple career advisors during your time in the graduate program, but then once you graduate, it's me. So I would look forward to meeting all of you when you transition into your alumni status, and really just have a continued relationship, ongoing with Villanova, and ways that we can help partner with you to power your career moving forward. So I look forward to meeting all of you, and again, welcome to Villanova.
I'm going to invite Linda Jasinski, and she is going to talk to us about what campus ministry has to offer graduate students.
Hello, everyone. My name is Linda Jasinski, like Melanie said, and I work in the campus ministry office on campus. Our offices are in St. Rita Hall, which is right next to the church on campus. One of the hallmarks of the whole campus is the church, so you can find us right next door. And there are about 15 campus ministers, as well as a lot of graduate students and interns who work in our offices. So we're all there to serve you, and please feel free to stop in or to make appointments or whatever. And our theme is Campus Ministry, We Search Together. And we see our office as very much in the tradition of building a whole person. You're here, you've been taught a lot of things through your life. You grew up in a certain faith tradition, maybe your spiritual tradition. And now as you move into growth in your mind and academics and everything, I think the heart has to be part of that as well. And for you to come more into ownership of who you are and your values and where you'd like to go. And we really welcome people. We like to have diversity in our programs. We are open to all people and hopefully have opportunities that can meet different people's needs. So as it says here, we help students to grow in their faith and spiritual journey. We explore questions of meaning. One of the big programs that we have and that we started one for graduate students last year is a faith sharing group. And that would be a group that meets maybe every other week. But it's a time to deepen the conversation, to be talking about maybe